last goal day was ages ago. I'm feeling a little bit slack right now. I haven't gotten a lot of things done. Hello again, team. It's Jess or JashiiCorrin, and welcome back for my week 44 plan with me. Along with that, today is also day 24 of my month of planning with me series. But before we jump into the planning for today, we're of course going to set up for next week. And before we do that, we're as per usual going to have a look at how this week is going. So as you'll remember from my last weekly plan with me, for this week I had a box for each weekday, the weekend was shared, and a space for a running to-do list here. Overall, I have no qualms with this layout. It's working perfectly fine. It is a shame that my boxes aren't quite as full as I had last week, but that's mostly because I've just had larger individual tasks to do. For instance, today, most of my day has been taken up with just marking the Year 11 Phys Chem tests, which, although it's only one task on here, it's a damn big task. Flipping over the page, you guys will have seen that I have my Term 4 timeline, which does also need a little bit of updating, but that's for later. And on this page is where I'm going to be putting next week. Before we jump into the time lapse, just a reminder that as per usual, any of the equipment I use in today's setup is linked in the description box below. In terms of the questions that we had on last week's plan with me, our first one comes from NJ Runsers. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. And in their comment they asked, how do you motivate yourself to get things done? Honestly, motivation is a big struggle for me. Although my bullet journal and to-do lists probably make it seem like I've got my shit together, most of the time I don't. I am a hardcore procrastinator, and leaving things to the last minute is something I struggle with constantly. In terms of motivating myself to get things done though, outside of my regular to-do lists and the satisfaction that I get crossing tasks off of those, one of my biggest motivators is actually consequences. Especially consequences that matter to me. So for any given task that I have that I'm just putting off and do not want to do, I essentially have to talk through with myself, well, what is the consequence of not doing this? How will not doing this affect me? Or, depending on the task, how will me not doing this affect others? Sometimes this can be helpful for actually getting me to do it because the consequence outweighs me not wanting to do it. And sometimes it helps me realize, you know what, it doesn't really matter if it doesn't get done. Another general mantra that I use with myself is inactivity breeds inactivity. So essentially, the more that I don't do things, the more I don't do things. But the opposite of this is true as well. Taking those baby steps to actually get stuck in with doing the things you need to get done is a really great way to make sure that you continue to get things done. Our next question comes from Sherlyn. Again, let me know if I'm saying that wrong. And in their question they asked, what has been your favourite or most useful weekly setup? So for this one, it would probably have to be the weekly setup that I used to use pretty much every week when I first started journaling. There's a reason that I used it so much. I've got a picture of that style on the screen at the moment, but really I just loved the amount of space it gave me to write everything down, the flexibility of both having a running to-do list and also spaces for each day of the week. Also the fact that I built my daily to-do lists each day throughout the day meant that there was never any wasted space. Ideally, I would like to look into doing some more variations on this style of spread. There we go. So this one may seem a little bit familiar because I did do one just like this back in September. That one was for Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori, so Māori Language Week, where I did all of the headers in Te Reo. I found this layout really pretty and quite helpful, so I thought I'd recreate it this week coming. Before we jump into my regular planning, I'm just going to go and write down all of the events that I know I have coming up next week. Our next question comes from Professor Lucas, whose comment read, for a while you were talking about potentially leaving teaching, though you couldn't reveal much. However, I haven't seen anything about that in a while. Are you feeling more satisfied in your teaching career than previously? Or is it just that there isn't much you can tell us at this point? Fingers crossed that you are feeling less stressed and more fulfilled. Thank you very much for your comment, Dawn. I do appreciate you checking in regarding this. Now, at the end of July, start of August, Life was very stressful, and things were pretty tough, both at school and outside of school. Since then, things have calmed down quite a bit, and I am feeling better about teaching at the moment. My intention now is to continue with teaching next year. And as part of this, I'm also looking at getting a teacher planner, so if anybody has any suggestions for teacher planners that they've used and liked, I would love to hear about those. And now flipping back from my daily planning. So, starting with my weekly, in terms of things to check off for today, we did have the physics test, I did attend tutorials, I made it to the Year 9 meeting, and I've started but not yet finished the Year 11 Phys Chem tests. Ideally, I would like to get most of that marking, if not all of it, out of the way tonight, because today, with the physics test, means I've got another lot of classes to mark, and come tomorrow, my Year 8s are going to be handing in their research reports. So, another lot of marking. And of course, reports are coming up, as per my term timeline. You can see I have reports due here. They're for the Year 7, 9, 11, and 13 classes. So that's 3 of my classes due, what, on the 7th? No, that's not the 3rd, is it? That's the 3rd. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Yeah, 7th of November, I have 3 classes of reports due. And then the next week, I have the next 3 classes due. So ideally, I want to get all that marking done as quickly as possible so that then I can actually get started on writing those reports. In terms of things that I can check off here, so yep, the physics mock did happen. I do have a tick for tutorials. I also have a tick for the makeup trial. I know that makeup trial is not related to schoolwork, but I'm essentially just recording anything on here that is kind of out of the usual. Really just so that I can make sure that when I have things to do, I'm accommodating for other commitments that I have. Flipping back. At this stage, I don't have anything else to add on here. I have started to pencil in November, so I'll give that a half cross. Oh, today I did pick up my repeat prescription, so can we put that down? Going back to my monthly pages. Alright, so happened, didn't happen, happened. Nothing else to add on here. Nothing to add to this one. Habits. Yet again, forgot to check my steps tracker. Ugh. Tomorrow. I actually never got around to posting on Instagram yesterday, so that's a bit of a shame. In terms of this one though, no to the active minutes. My word for yesterday is going to be makeup. And filling in my meal log. That one was meant for today. One of my students had bought in cake, I think maybe for a friend's birthday, and she gave me a piece. It was very, very nice of her. And very tasty cake. And of course, over to my PowerSheets. So going in and filling in the things that I can. So in terms of things I've made progress on, of course with the makeup trial last night, that was with my friend Rachel, so have been spending some more time with friends. Nothing to add on the weekly action items, and the only one of my daily action items that happened yesterday was mindful eating. I've actually just realized that tomorrow night, because I'm going out with my department, I'm probably not going to be getting back home until about 11 PM. So if there is a video tomorrow, and I hope there will be, it will probably be a little bit different to what we've been doing on the regular. Thank you for watching though, team. If you liked today's video, please do make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you wanted to see more from me, feel free to go check out one of my other videos. Until next time, bye!